So there's a perspective change that may come about where we move from a person that is practicing to try and get away from suffering, to become more stronger, more peaceful, more accepting, maybe even kinder, more loving. But eventually we just realize this is just to get somewhere where we feel more comfortable and suffering less. But there comes about a time where we might find that enough practice will never get us where we want to be. Eventually, I want to ask you the question, can you move from a position of trying to get out of bondage, out of mind, to just seeing that you're already free in this moment, no matter how much it seems like you need to practice your way out or a slight perspective change needs to come about? Because awakening is always now. Can you see in all these sensations, the sensations of the visual field, the bodily sensations, even the thoughts, they're made out of nothing meaningful. They're just empty of meaning, of anything. So right here, even if the body feels like it's being resisted, even if the stories in the head are going through, can you see that they mean nothing and you're free right now? Not any practice will get you to this place. In fact, it's this first time you may drop down all weapons, all shields, and just see that right here, you're already free. And so if you have to label it practice, make the practice just to find reasons that you're not free. If you go to sensations, we might feel that they're contracted and they have a locality and they're limited, but don't go into them trying to transform these sensations. Go into them and see, well, where is the limitation here? I can't find a boundary to any sensation. If anyone can ever find a boundary to anything, let me know, because I've never found a boundary to anything. Where I start, where the world begins, where sounds merge into visual field, where the bodily sensations merges into the rest of the room. It feels like I'm here and the rest of the room is out there, but when you really contemplate it, you can't find a boundary between anything, and you almost breathe into the rest of the room, you become the room. There's no difference between anything. So back to the actual topic there, which might really help and keep this streamlined, because there's so much wishy-washy spiritual talk out there, but let's keep it very almost practical, in a sense that the practice is no longer now to look away from suffering. Go through the suffering and see that the suffering is meaningless. The stories mean nothing. You're already free now. So all practice is now is looking for ways to show you that reality is free, unbound, boundless. Already, there's no transformation, because as soon as we go from a person that's on a path, you have a story of your seeking, that we're getting from here to there, that's already separation, because there's a person moving through a timeline. Eventually I'll get to a place where I'll be this or that. And we can't look down on people who aren't on the path, because they're doing exactly the same thing with money, with jobs, with relationships, with family, thinking once I get this, once I have a family, once I get a job, once I get the promotion. But this is the key perspective change, is not trying to even use practice as a subtle way to get somewhere. That's the most subtle, sly way the mind still puts this on a journey. Just if you're going to do anything with the mind, anything with awareness, turn it back to the place that shows you you're already free. Your nature is unbound. Your nature is peaceful. Your nature is unlimited. We play these games of limitation so that we can have some fun. The mind wants fun in this life, and wants to play, and it gets caught up in these stories, and now it just wants to go back home. But the only way home is not to make it into a path. The moment you make it a path, it becomes separation, because it's as if there's something wrong with this moment. There's nothing wrong with this moment. The only thing that's wrong with this moment is your perspective of it. That's the only cloudy, distorted thing. So to recap, so it's really obvious, don't try and get away from suffering. In fact, be curious. Why do I feel limited? Because wherever I look, there's no limitation, there's no end to me. That's the start of freedom, seeing you're already free. You're already home. You just don't believe it yet.